Sorry, I just like to let that play. We hoping we can use that.
I rock with it.
All right, welcome to PJ Productions Podcast. We are on episode 2. We got my good friend Machayah here. He gonna spend the night with us. Well, yeah, it is nighttime. Okay, let's just get right into it. Machayah, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm thankful for y'all having me today.
Ooh.
And, I'm ready for whatever you got for me.
Smooth. So let me ask you, is your stage name Machayah or is it Mac? You're not going by Mac.
You know, I was just thinking about it today. I know a lot of people call me Mac.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep Mac as my nickname and like my production name.
Yeah.
So if I ever get back into like DJing or, put in my tag, it's gonna be Mac. But as far as an artist, I'd rather go by Machayah.
You already got me started. You DJ'd? I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, so DJing, producing.
Ooh. When's the last time you DJ'd?
It's been some time. So probably like a year. I'll say about
That's
a year.
That's not even that long.
Yeah.
Did you like do sets? Or like you just did it on your own?
I was just
family?
doing it on my own. Yeah.
Self-taught?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So you make your own beats?
Yeah.
Oh, this is smooth. Mm-hmm. I'm ready. Let's see what I got for you. Okay, so we talked about this a little bit in our last convo, but did you choose music or did music choose you?
You know what? I was low-key born in it. So my pops, he was an engineer. Mm-hmm. So, my mom pretty much, she was either legal secretary, so she's in the corporate field. My pops would babysit me and my sisters. Mm-hmm. He'd take us to the studio.
Yeah, that's smooth. You was a studio baby.
Yeah, so we playing hide and seek and recording booths and, just having a good time. So I practically met different type of artists from R&B to hip hop to rock to like metal, soul.
How old are you at this time?
Young, probably 4.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
In LA?
So he had a studio up in Gardena.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so practically LA, South Bay. So every time we came home from school, Pops would tell us to meet him at the studio.
Oh, that's crazy.
And so we all have to walk all the way over there.
And that's cool.
He'll have his recording sessions.
That's smooth.
Just soaking up game.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you feel like some of your influences came from always being in the studio damn near part-time?
Yeah, you just see like versatility. So you see people from different walks of life. Some people are talented, some are just wasting my pop's time. And
they need a little more work.
Yeah, but you just see like people that's with different styles and you pick up from those things.
Yeah.
Different forms of creativity, stuff like that. I never thought I'd be in music, but it was just kind of cool to just witness those things.
Right.
And, my pop's sitting me down, I'm wondering how he's operating these boards and all that kind of stuff. So, pretty much my environment.
That's crazy. Did he start that or like is this generations and generations of,
he started that, yeah.
He started it. Yeah. Hey, that's cool. So you got that from him. Mm-hmm. That's cool. So 4 years old, you running around studios, but you didn't think you was really gonna get into music. So when did that hit?
When did it hit? Probably junior college.
College? Oh shoot. Okay.
Yeah, I started off.
Okay, it took a minute.
I started off spoken word, so I was doing like spoken word poetry. I'll go to like little lounges, do my little thing. We'll have like poetry night events, and then I just say my piece until like one of the homies said like the way you deliver your poems is low key sound like rap, so you might as well just teach yourself how to rap. So then ever since then I was just getting on beats and then just learning. And I think like a couple months later, my pops, because I was trying to learn how to make beats too.
Yeah.
And then he told me he recommended like a specific software like Reason to learn how to produce and just make beats. I was like, man, can you teach me how to make beats?
Yeah.
And he just turned the equipment on. He said, low-key told me to figure it out.
Yeah.
And like, I understood what he was doing though. Like, so I'm not dependent on him. It was more so me figuring it out and then coming in for like pointers.
Yeah. Creating your flow, letting you do it.
Making my own style and stuff like that. So now I understand it then. But when he turned the equipment on, it just left. I was like,
what am I supposed to do?
But now it's cool. Like just the development process, I think I made my first beat in like 2016.
That's crazy. Because junior of college, hold on, we're not going to forget to ask what school he went to. Go ahead, rep your school. Where'd you go?
Junior college, I went to Riverside.
Okay.
And then for the university I went to Howard. Howard
yeah, we talking about it. You see, we talking about type. Okay. Got to drop that. Howard, period. So when you was in Riverside, which is crazy, I guess I gotta say I'm from there. That's so funny. I said that so sad. Like, I guess I gotta say I'm from there, but yes, I am from there. So Riverside, that's when you started doing the spoken word, and that's when you was going to lounges, or were you out here?
Nah, so in high school, I was doing spoken word for like a couple of years. And then I just had a message I wanted to convey to people.
Oh, period. Wait a minute. What was your message?
Progressiveness. So Black progressiveness, Black and brown progressiveness. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, so I pretty much push, the movement of, if our people getting built up and turning back to God. And, based off of the atrocities, everything that we face. Yeah. How important it is for us to turn back to God so we can get up, out of this, this predicament.
Come back.
That we're in. So.
That's period. In high school, though. In high school, you had a calling. That's pretty cool. So high school is when you're doing the spoken word, but Riverside is when you're around people and having influence that are kind of saying like, you kind of writing these rhymes like they rap. So then that's when you taught yourself how to rap. That's crazy.
So I was trash though. I'm not gonna lie. I was like really trash. But when I'm passionate about something, I have a habit of like locking in and making sure like I make myself like that I'm really dope at it. So I took my time. It took me a few years to get into a pocket where I'm really comfortable, where I feel like, okay, I can really do this. Yeah. And so I'm not going to act like it was just an overnight thing.
No,
transferred over and now I'm a rapper. And I really like did my homework and I really, locked in.
That's a great little transition, because the next question I have is, who are your musical influences? So I guess that can kind of change as you start. I think you might have different musical influences when you're trying to learn it. And then as you now grasp it, I now learned it. Now let me do my own spin to it. Let me get a little bit of confidence in it. Let me start playing with what Machayah is, what my sound is. So who do you think were your influences to learn how to rap?
To learn how to rap?
Yeah.
So coming up, I was listening to Kendrick Lamar. I was listening to J. Cole. My mom played a big part in like who I was listening to as well. She picked me up from school. She listened to DMX. She listening to 50 Cent,
Red DMX.
So I'm listening to like all these, different, lyricists. Yeah. And just their different art form and how they were able to convey a message in a way that was unique to them. Yeah. And I was, just developing in who I am. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take from all of these people and create my own type of style. And, understanding how DMX was telling the story. Yeah. And then he'll talk about all this reckless stuff and then get to praying. And then listening to 50 Cent tell a story about, growing up in Queens, and, how you can visually see what he's saying. So it was just kind of cool that you could do that with words. Yeah. Kendrick Lamar, like I felt like I was in, even though I'm down the street, I'm in Carson. Yeah. I feel like I'm in Compton when I'm listening to Kendrick Lamar lyrics. And so I'm like, it's dope what you could do with like just words and how you construction people can feel how you feel. There's people that never been to Compton or LA or South Central, but they feel
swear they
like
did.
They connect with you.
Yeah.
I was like, man, when I really get busy with this pen, I want to be able to be that kind of artist. Like when people could connect with me and they never been where I'm from. Yeah. So
that's crazy. That's good. That's cool. That's really cool, because you kind of seen your development. You've seen your progress. So, well, let me ask you this. Do you feel like those are still the same influences that you use today in how you rap and how you write and how you deliver?
It's crazy. Nah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm going to say my influence is just the world now. So it's just like things that I see.
Experiences.
Yeah. So like when you first start doing something, you're always going to pick from people that you learn from. Right. But the more you do it, then you're kind of getting your inspiration from other things. And so like even when,
that's
just convey, like working on music, I'm like, might be at my job and somebody might say a line that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, he don't know that's a bar, but that's a bar. And so I might go home and I might flip it just a little bit. And then, then I got a whole song just from one line that I was talking to a random person that worked from.
Just like that, huh?
Yeah.
That's like that. That's cool. That's smooth. Are we going to hear some of that? Is that going to be put out at any time?
Oh, yeah. So you know what?
Oh, you know what? What's up?
So yeah, I've been working on this project. Yeah. We've been talking about it for a minute.
We have?
So yeah, it's an album project I've been working on for the past like 2 years. It's called No Options.
Okay, No Options. Oh, period. So, how long you been working on this album?
I'm gonna say for a long time, but as far as me being locked in on it, I would say within the past 2 years.
2 years.
So it's always been an idea, but where it started like me really executing and not letting anything kind of detour me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say for the past 2 years, I've been like really focused.
Is that how long I've known you?
Yeah, the past 2 years.
Yeah, for as long as I've known you, you've been working on this album. So, I'm
I think
excited.
like the week that I met you, I was like just now getting into like production.
Yeah. Dang, what a time. That was fun. That was fun. What did we do? I guess it's really your brother-in-law. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Your brother-in-law was working with your brother-in-law, and we decided to do a little brunch. His friends, my friends, but his friends was really just you. And we went to Huntington Beach. We was at I don't even remember where we was at. The food was alright, but we went to the beach, drinking, just talking, having a good time. Being young in Cali, there's a lot to be blessed to be living in, where we living in. But I don't even think then I knew that you were working on an album. I don't even know if that even really came up.
To be honest, I didn't announce that I was working on music till 2024. I was kind of like in the process of getting back into it. I low-key kind of fell off from making music. So I didn't want to tell anybody I'm getting back to.
Because then you're going to get a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah. And I kind of wanted to be in that space alone, like to just come up with my ideas and concepts without expectations, without anybody kind of over my shoulder, like when is this happening or those kind of things. So yeah,
I was one of them.
Yeah.
As soon as I found out, you knew I was one of them. But I hope it didn't come off like that. I didn't want it to come off like that. It was more of like a little check-in, like just
you know what?
How you doing with it?
It was needed, like for even with everybody. Like I announced it like Black History Month last year that I was working on the album, and usually everybody that knows me, I'm kind of secretive about everything I do. I don't tell nobody none of my business. But I was like, this is gonna be like the hardest task that I ever did in my life, right? So I'm gonna need support. Yeah, I'm gonna need people on my head to make sure I don't quit, to make sure I don't
get stuck,
fall back, or just get stuck in my own thoughts or all that kind of stuff. So I announced that I was working on a project. And ever since then, people was always on my head, like, when is happening? When is happening? Yeah. And I'm grateful for that, because it really, like, those are the thoughts in the back of my head when I was tired. Yeah. When I was just like, man, I could wait till next week. Like, nah, you gotta lock in and get to it. So
lock in, don't wait. It's now or never. That's smooth. Okay, can I ask you a couple questions about the album?
Yeah.
How many tracks is on it?
12.
12 good tracks, 12 good stories, 12 good experiences. Okay. Did you ever have writer's block?
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I stopped making music.
Whoa, what? Because you didn't like the writer's block, or you just could never find your way out of writer's block?
I think writer's block, I don't think, somebody said writer's block is a myth. And coming out of it, I do believe that. I think you have this idea of what you want to say, but you're not really being true. It's kind of like you got to be true to whatever it is that you're going through at that moment. Yeah. And it's going to happen. And I had to look back, like, I was still writing when I thought I had writer's block. I was like, low key, what you saying is kind of tough. Yeah. But it's just not what you want to say at that time. Like, it's like some things are vulnerable. Some things, like, you don't want people to know, like, that, you know, you've experienced. But then when you look back, you're like, you know what, this is actually a good story. Yeah. Or this is just a good idea or, you know, concept. Let me key into that and develop it a little bit more. But I just realized I didn't really have writer's block. I was just, you know, I had to experience things a lot more. Yeah. I had to change what I was writing about, my subject matter. Like, I remember, like, prior to me working on this album, I was writing about stuff that I seen, like other people's experiences, rather than me writing about my own personal experiences. And
I remember we talked about this.
Yeah. And so the development of this album really caused me to go within myself and talk about not just the things that I guess, you know, that I'm upset about, that bring me pain, but also the things that bring me joy. Right. Because, like, when I was in a negative space, I wrote about stuff that I wanted to see. So it kind of brought me out of a negative space too. So yeah, it just caused me to really write. Yeah. Like, you get an authentic version of myself with this project. Yeah. And there's I mean, I'm not going to give everybody 100% of me, because I don't think anybody deserve that. Yeah. Type. Oh. But I'm gonna give people a portion.
Go off. Go off. He said, I don't think nobody deserves that. Hey, go off. That's period. Okay. I kind of want to ask, like, What was the intention of putting these specific songs, obviously in the order that you put them in the way that you are saying them and speaking them and delivering them? What we gonna feel when we listening to this as we going on the journey of what's in Machayah's head?
All right, so I'm trying to avoid sounding like all introspective and everything. But
hey, if that's honestly, you, be you.
I just wanted to kind of showcase like the balance to life. Like things start off for me, like I'm not gonna say I was a silver spoon, but there were things that were like handed to me. And you know, like I said, I grew up in Hebrew. So with that being said, I was taught, you know, the knowledge that I come from a legacy of great people. And so, you know, I come from, you know, the 12 tribes of Israel, like God's chosen people. So imagine you being a kid telling, your parents telling you that God thinks you're special and you're just being developed in, you know, just this form of confidence.
You're thinking completely different from someone who doesn't have parents. Right. Yeah.
And so with that, it's a good thing, but also comes arrogance too.
Yeah.
So then you feel like holier than thou, or you feel like, you know, just you that guy, which you are that guy. You have that right to, you know, feel that way. But, you know, when you get to a point where you feel like you're accomplished, you can get lackadaisical. When you get to a point that you're good, even when you feel like you have that relationship with God, you can get lackadaisical too, because there's always, you know, obstacles, and God puts us through tests too.
Yeah.
And so that's where I was at, where I was comfortable. I felt like, you know, I'm good with God.
Yeah.
Like I'm good where I'm at, and that's the moment where you make that mistake. You know what I'm saying? Where you're not good until, you know, Christ gives us that crown of glory.
Yeah.
And, you know, then you can say, I got through that.
Type.
And so it was a humbling process. You know, I felt like I went through experiences of me just being knocked down to my lowest. And when I thought I was at my lowest, then you go lower.
Yeah, type.
And soon when you thought you was at that lowest, and it, you know, life just
that test be tested.
Start stomping on you with Tim's. Like it's just, you know. But nonetheless, I just wrote about that. Like I had to really, to get out of that negative space, I had to admit that I was in that space.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I had to really just lock in. Like, okay, accept that you're here, but don't accept staying here.
Yeah.
Don't accept staying stuck in this, you know, situation, but, you know, overcome it. Whatever it is that you're dealing with, you know, address it and get through that. And I had a lot that I had to, you know, address.
Yeah.
Fears, stress, doubts, all of those type of things. I had to, you know, really overcome those things in order to get to a better space.
Yeah.
And that was me just writing all that through the development of this project. You know what I'm saying? And just writing about it.
Yeah.
Like I had to kind of steer away from how I think people would feel about it. I was like, I'm gonna just say how I want to feel, how I really feel.
Yeah.
And whoever it's meant for us, that's who it's gonna be for. If it's not meant for them, they're not gonna gravitate to it. So steer me away from how people feel about it. And then, you know, you get, you know, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's just,
I like that the first thing you said is that it shows the balance that there is in life, because I can hear that in how you're talking and the reasoning behind your music and how you write. And it's like, that's really how life is. There's good, there's bad. There's days where you can write and there's days that you can't. But it's nice that you're a reflection of walking through when you can't, those days that are hard. It's like, you can't just stay there. You really got to walk your way through it to get to it, to get to the other side, to know what the lesson is, to understand the why. You just got to walk through it. So shoot, you speaking to me. I'm excited to listen to this album for real, especially from your perspective and your eyes, especially since you're saying that before it was from everybody else's perspective. And then you kind of had to lock back in, and it's like, why everybody else? Let me just see it how I see it. And let me tell it the way I see it. So I like that. That's cool. Dang, you answering a lot of the questions that I had, honestly, which is good. Oh, I guess I can say, I don't think you said when it's coming out. When is it coming out, and what on what platforms?
all right, so I'm gonna say what I want it to come out.
Okay.
Now distribution is a whole other story. Going through that, but nonetheless, I want it to come out this Friday.
Okay. This Friday, as in May 30th? I think that's May 30th. Yes, May 30th.
Yes, I wanted to drop May 30th.
Okay.
And yeah, leave it at that.
Okay.
I was going to plan a whole rollout and all this kind of stuff, but I was like, you know what? I want to drop the album first.
Yeah. Celebrate
that way,
later.
when people see music videos, they have something to refer back to rather than me just dropping one snippet on Instagram and like, where the music at?
Yeah,
everybody still had the same questions. So I was like,
Yeah.
nah, I don't want to be that artist to just keep teasing people. I just want to just give them what they want.
Yeah.
And, you know, then I'll put the snippets, you know,
Right.
that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
how I developed the project, what was my thought
Those
process
behind the
behind it.
scenes. Yeah. I'm such a behind the scenes girly. I like and will always appreciate a final product, but when you can kind of peel back those layers, when you can really like get into it with them, like, okay, what did they have to do to go through this? Beyonce is like I hate that I even use her because she's really not. She's up there, and she's not like, I'm not like Beehive vibe, but I will give her dues and her respect. Everybody better give her dues and her respect because she is the best performer. But I really like that. I've been to her concert, but then to see her roll out a documentary of how the concert goes about, it's things you wouldn't know. It's just things you wouldn't know. So especially if people just go and look at your album and listen to it, it's like, okay, yeah, he hard. But it's like you're not really hearing the whole process. You're missing a whole other piece to it. It's almost like the final product is like a part one, at least for me in my eyes. Like, I kind of want to know the behind the scenes. I want to know the struggle. I want to know what you had to go through, the emotional roller coaster, because again, that is life. Like, it's not, we don't just get to this final product just from walking on a rainbow, walking a yellow brick road. Like, we really gotta go through the ups and downs. So that's cool. I'm really excited to listen to your album, to really see that reflection almost in a way. Now that I'm already here at the behind the scenes. Okay, so I think this kind of leads into, what goals do you hope to accomplish as an artist?
I hope to inspire, honestly. I feel like my actual traits as a person is to like inspire and motivate.
Yeah,
I feel like those are my gifts. Whether I'm doing that through public speaking, whether I'm doing that through music or just conversation. Like,
just conversation, yeah. I could definitely be a testament to that. I remember when we really hung out a lot, huh? You're one of those like distant friends. Like, I see you when I see you, and then I don't. But I can think about when the group, we went bowling, and I think we was having a conversation just about, I don't even remember what we was talking about, truthfully. I don't remember the topic. However, I remember what I felt, and it felt inspirational. It felt like I was coming to you, asking you like, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you navigate? How do you go through? And talking to you, it very much is inspiring to kind of hear your perspective, hear it from your words and not anyone else. Everybody else can say everybody can say the same thing. Not everybody can say it in the same way. And sometimes there's certain ways that will resonate with you better than other ways. So I could definitely hear that. I could hear that within just this interview, within just us talking. So I'm now interested to hear it in a perspective of
like
an album. Yeah, because it's like we're saying, like, I've really known you for 2 years. And it's always been great conversation every single time we talk. So now to be able to have that conversation musically, it's like, okay, look at our little distant friendship growing. Okay, that was good. That was good. I think the last question I would have for you. Well, first, sorry, I don't think you said. Is this dropping on Apple Music, SoundCloud,
so it's
Spotify?
going to be on a major streaming platforms.
Okay.
I'm gonna just say specifically Apple Music and Spotify. Those are the bigger ones. But every major streaming platform.
Okay, that's a bet. And you're probably gonna promote this on your Instagram. What's your Instagram again? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, so it's the Mac 96.
Okay.
THA_MAC 96.
You heard that? Peep that. And okay, now last question. Who should we interview next? If we, out of the influences that you have in your life, musical, entertainment, DJ wise, producer wise, if there's anybody who's worked with you on this project, just straight off the dome, who do you think we should interview, sit down, talk with next?
I'd say my cousin.
Okay, who's your cousin?
Yeah, my cousin, L.DRE Williams. He was actually, so I produced on this project, but I also had people producing with me. So one of my boys from high school, Jose, my cousin L.DRE Williams, he sings. plays instruments. So he's a part of some of the instrumentation on the tracks.
Okay.
Called him in. Went to my auntie's house in Carson. We just locked in and knocked out, I think, 2 tracks together. So he was definitely a key player in helping me get to the finish line for sure.
Okay, that's cool.
So yeah, I see him doing his thing with the music. So I would say if I can plug you up with him, like, that'd be cool too.
You'll see it. All right, that sounds good. How you feeling? Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I don't know if I have questions.
Okay, that's good.
Actually, you know what?
I have a question.
How do you feel about the direction of this podcast?
Ooh, I feel like, wait, this specific podcast?
No, just overall.
Oh, just overall.
The movement that you started.
I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie. I think that we are going to be able to expand this company just based off of networking, connecting with individuals like you, hearing your references, hearing your influences, your community. That's just you. We doing so many different people. So to have that whole collaboration happen just by sitting down, having 30 minutes of our time to just chat about a craft that we love, that we enjoy, that's around us. I mean, this very own craft is what brings our community together, what brings our ancestors together. So it's a beautiful thing. I'm honestly really excited. I was so excited that you started this. We will say that he very much started us to get this up and running. What was going on? I had a very crazy week one week, and I randomly get a call from this man, Machayah. It was literally in the morning, like 9-10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm thinking, why is this man calling me at 9 o'clock? I don't talk to him. Like, you don't ever call me. So I was like, calling me at 9-10 o'clock, what he got to say to me? And sure enough, he was telling me that his album was finished, and it was literally that night before. Our CEO, Zay, if you didn't know, our CEO of PJ Productions is Zay. If you don't know, is @_PJ Productions at IG. Yeah, just FYI. I was talking to our CEO, Zay, and I was telling him that we should start doing podcasts and we should start having like these weekly highlights and talking to artists, talking to producers, talking to DJs, just anyone in the entertainment circle to kind of bring us more together outside of just the events. And so you came perfect timing. You were like perfect. You were like confirmation of like, okay, we got somebody. So let's get this up and running. We got one person. We know we're going to bring in more. Yeah. So you definitely started this. Okay. You have a hand. You definitely have a hand in this. And I will say that. So I appreciate you for making the time. We're probably like your first interview for this album. So definitely check out the album. What's it called again?
It's called No Options.
No Options. That's period. 12 tracks. Comes out May 30th. And I think that's a wrap.